2 of Canbrawl at Canberra, 7-Point Highlander. I am Isaac Lee, and this is Dylan Kakawa. You excited?
I'm very excited. How's things otherwise though?
Yeah.
Good for a good round of Magic, you reckon?
Yeah, look, I'm really excited about this. I came up last night. We've been hanging out. We went out for steak dinners, and now we get to commentate some Highlanders. So, yeah, pretty good weekend.
Going to be a smashing weekend, I reckon, with that.
Yeah. So who we got playing in round 2 today?
So we have the committee's very own Voltie playing a 8-point mono whitelist that is under $150. And on the other side, we have Meli playing 8-point Eldrazi. So we've got 2 8-point decks battling it out here.
Absolutely fantastic. I love the 8-point rule. So for those that haven't played a lot of Highlander, what is the 8-point rule, Dylan?
So basically, if your deck contains no reserve list cards, you get to have an extra point. So if you're not playing the expensive dual lands, can't afford to, there is a little bit of grace and you get to have an extra point in your deck just to allow it to be a bit more powerful. And we see that Voltie here on the left has chosen to use some of those points to play Loris as a companion.
Oh.
What do you think of Loris as a companion?
Look, very powerful when it first came out, and then when they had eroded it, also still incredibly powerful.
Yeah. So Voltie's going to kick things off here with a basic Plains and a Warden of the Inner Sky. This is a creature that's going to get very powerful very quickly if Voltie starts to develop a wide enough board.
Speaking of very powerful very quickly, Chris on 8-point Eldrazi. I think I saw a sneaky little Mana Vault there,
Yeah.
so yeah, turn 1 Mana Vault.
Turn 1 Mana Vault off the Boseiju from Chris. Does he have a follow-up play? It looks like he's got a Matter Reshaper, choosing not to cast it and go for a later, stronger play with the Mana Vault, choosing to save his mana.
Yeah, I think I saw a sneaky Ugin in there as well, so maybe we even save a mana all the way up to that Ugin, which could be pretty spicy here.
Yeah, but a Seam Rip going to take care of this Mana Vault, and Chris going to cast a Warping Whale in response to exile the Warden of the Inner Sky to remove that threat. Mana Vaults might as well use the mana. It's, if it comes back out, it's coming into play untapped, so there's no downside. And Voltie having another follow-up play with a Thraben Inspector. So, not a lot of board pressure from Voltie yet, but Chris may not have so much in the way of mana. So following up with an Urza's Saga is going to allow him to try and get on the board, and he does have a third land. And we're going to go digging for a permanent here with Malevolent Rumble as well as ramping.
So Malevolent Rumble, that is a card that I've been enjoying playing a hell of a lot recently. I'm going to pull it up here, but maybe you tell the audience what Malevolent Rumble does.
So we reveal the top 4 cards of our library, and we get to choose a permanent from them and put it into our hand. The rest go to the graveyard, and we get a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn token, so we can sack that for mana later. So Chris choosing here to go with a Thief of Existence, and losing One Ring Expedition Map and All Is Dust. All Is Dust, I think, would be quite decent in this matchup, even though Voltie does have a lot of artifacts. Things like that Seam Rip going away would be good, but...
Yeah, getting back that Mana Vault to then be able to ramp up to the Ugin, and then that Urza's Saga is going to pop off as well at some point. And we might not be creating any construct tokens, but what we might be doing is getting something like a Manifold Key or a Voltaic Key to be able to untap the Mana Vault and then be able to ramp out into that Ugin. So a bit of a plan forming here for Chris, which is pretty exciting. But in the meantime, we've got a 0/1 Eldrazi Scion token that can sacrifice for 1 mana, and Voltie's still putting on the pressure.
Ooh, Wasteland here from Voltie, taking out the Urza's Saga. Point for a point. Voltie has also drawn the Mental Misstep, which could be integral. Like, wasn't there for the turn 1 Mana Vault, but if Chris draws something, it might catch something there.
Yep. But Chris just being like behind on that mana really sets him back, because the deck is trying to ramp into some big, powerful things. You see that Ugin there, which is what the game plan has been, but Voltie has been step by step, like putting on a bit of pressure, chipping in for a little bit of damage, and then also stopping Chris from being able to hit those high ones. But now the Mana Vault's back in play.
Yeah, the Thief of Existence took care of it, sacrificing the spawn on the way, but that's because he got wastelanded. But this Mana Vault's now back online, and Chris's hand is looking very functional. You've got a Sowing Myco Spawn?
Sowing Myco Spawn. That's the green and 3. I'm going to bring that up. It's green and 3, and...
It ramps you, and then you can kick it for 1 and a colorless to destroy an opponent's land.
Jeez, you are really good at these cards.
Well, yeah, this card has to get banned in Legacy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was getting a bit ridiculous, all the Eldrazi decks floating around, which was kind of a bit of a shame because it was one of the more budget decks you could potentially build into.
Yeah, okay. So we see that mental misstep discarded with the the Thoptercopter?
Smuggler's Copter.
Smuggler's
Yeah,
Copter.
it's a lot less good after your opponent's already resolved their mana vault.
Tell you what, Voltie, you are not having that mana vault.
Portable
I
hole?
refuse.
Voltie is just trying to keep Chris off mana because Chris can go over the top with large Eldrazi, and white weenies don't tend to match up very well against large creatures a lot of the time, which is also, I think, why the Wasteland took out the Urza's Saga, because those constructs can really brick wall mono white.
Totally. And we got that single white there. That looks like a new card that I don't know.
It's actually a Weathered Wayfarer.
Ah.
It's the Lord of the Rings Commander deck printing.
Yeah, okay, good.
So this is going to allow Voltie to get more mana and be able to try and keep up, as well as just like thin the deck to be drawing more live spells. So Thraben Inspector is going to get in the Copter, like we were seeing almost 10 years ago. And draws and pitches a land. So Voltie with a Path and Thalia in play. So she can choose to go the mana denial route and cast this Thalia, or she can choose to get the Thief of the Existence off the board, which it looks like she's going to do, which will ramp Chris, assuming he's got a basic.
Yeah, which I reckon there's probably one or two forests in the deck. Yep.
But he's gone for the basic wastes here.
So why would he go for the wastes?
I imagine he wants maybe the second colorless source, maybe to cast something like a Kozilek's Command, or maybe double spell with Eldrazi in a turn. It might also be that he's got more ways to fetch forest in his deck, so maybe he's less concerned with that.
So that Weathered Wayfarer activation there. Search your library for a land card, review it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Activate only if an opponent controls more lands than you. So Voltie actually taking that path to exile and the downside and kind of actually turning into the upside.
Yeah, it's a very clever play there, giving your opponent the land so you can activate the Weathered Wayfarer and then strip mining them of all things. you can get the basic land that you get with Path to Exile. That's
build your own Swords to Plowshares that doesn't gain them life.
Yeah, the Weathered Wayfarer here dealt 3 damage effectively as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, Chris following up with a Yavimaya Coast and a Matter Reshaper. It's not going to be too good a blocker against the Smuggler's Copter, which is starting to pose a very real threat to Chris's life total here. And we see Voltie with a Giant Killer as the draw, a Selfless Savior in hand, and a Thalia Guardian of Thraben. So we're going to crew the Copter first, see what we draw. It's a Ghost Quarter. And it's not going to be super effective here because we do know Chris has some basic forests in the deck.
Yep.
But pitching the Thalia, we do get to activate the Weathered Wayfarer this turn, but we have used both Strip Mine and Wasteland. So it'll be interesting to see what Voltie chooses to get here.
Yeah, Ghost Quarter's in hand as well. And Chris is down to 10, so chipping away at that life total whilst maintaining that aggressive attack on the mana base, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're going full mana attack here with the Rishadan Port. So we're going to look to tap down a source at the beginning of upkeep. And Voltie choosing to go with this kind of mana denial plan over Thalia, because Thalia, while being a mana denial plan, is very good against instant sorceries or just non-creatures in general. Eldrazi is unfortunately a lot of creature decks. So Voltie choosing to tap down the basic wastes here.
The plan is to just chip away, mana deny, try to kill you before you really get online with your over-the-top spells.
Yeah, and this is going to work out really well for Voltie because Chris has missed his 4th land drop as well. Ooh. So his plan to cast the Mycospawn Spawn has been hindered on 2 fronts, and his hand is full of an Ulamog and an Ugin. He has picked up the Dismember, which can maybe buy some time by killing out that Copter, but it's going to be a bit risky. This Selfless Savior here is going to be a bit funny because it gives Indestructible, which is not going to do anything against the Dismember here.
Because of neg 5.
Yeah, but it's going to crew the Copter anyway, and we're going to see a Dismember before attacks, paying the full 4 life.
Yep, okay, so 4 life down to 6. It's not all upside in terms of this mana denial because Voltie is also having to keep the Rishadan Port and another land up in order to be able to tap down a land in upkeep.
Yeah, and because Chris has missed his land drop, this Weathered Wayfarer is not going to be able to get more value, so it might as well get in the red zone because that life portal change is still huge with the Dismember taking 4 points off. It is still effectively a Smuggler's Copter attack and more.
Yep.
So Voltie's going to try and develop here by playing a Giant Killer, which is going to be a great way to tap down a blocker. Just finding ways to use this mana, excess mana that you have.
So, question for you: with Giant Killer being in play, is this Throne of Eldraine limited, or is this constructed?
It did see constructed play. It's quite a versatile creature. It also sees quite a bit of play in cube. It's a very versatile, interesting threat that just fits into a Lurrus deck quite nicely. Being able to have situational removal in this sort of deck, you don't need a lot of removal to get over the line usually. So having your creatures be more efficient and your removal being less efficient is a trade-off you're kind of willing to take.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just, it's one of those weird cards, white and 1 tap to tap a creature. That's a lot of mana invested into being able to tap something down.
It is. However, the way Voltie's built her deck is very reminiscent of classic Legacy Death and Taxes, where you have a lot of excess mana to sort of use around what your lands are. Things like Rishadan Port or just activated abilities from Thraben Inspector drawing a card. You have plenty of ways to use your mana, and you will end up with excess mana sort of towards the end of the game. And the way the deck is built is to try and utilize that, and so that even if you start flooding out, you've got stuff to do. And the main engine to mitigate this, of course, is Lurrus, which we pay the whole 3 points for. So
yeah, although Voltie had the option of playing lands not using Ghost Quarter or Wasteland or Strip Mine and being able to put the Lurrus into hand and then being able to play the Lurrus and getting a bunch of value there, but choosing not to.
Yeah, she didn't need to there, because taking a turn off and letting your opponent do everything, I think, is a great way to throw away a game that you've already got quite a sizable advantage over at the time. So what sideboard cards do you think we're going to see from these players?
Yeah, so let's have a look at Chris's sideboard to start with. Just having a look here, I see a Chalice of the Void that might come in because there's so many 1-drops from Voltie's side.
1 and 2 drops, yeah. Being able to take out the 1-drop seems good against the White Weenie deck.
We also might see a Haywire might come in, considering just how many enchantment or artifact-based exile effects Voltie used to get rid of the Mana Vault.
Yeah, we've seen both Seam Rip and Portable Hole there. Haywire Might's also able to take out things like Voltie's got Jitte, for example.
And that Smuggler's Copter as well.
Yeah, Haywire Might being able to bridge the gap to the later game, gain some life, and take out a problematic target on the way, I think is very, very good here.
Yeah. So
Chris has also got a Shadow Spear, which I think we'll be seeing coming in.
Ooh, Shadow Spear. That's pretty cool. What about from Voltie's side? You've played a little bit with Voltie's deck. What do you think?
I don't remember the sideboard, to be honest.
All right. Well,
so I imagine there's some of the usual suspects in there, maybe some Aethersworn Canonists, some generalized hate cards. But for Eldrazi, I'm not too sure what she's got cooking at the moment. But as we have our players shuffle up for game 2, Chris is going to be on the play.
All right, let's have a look. We got Council's Judgment that might come in.
It's a good way to remove some problematic Eldrazi or an Ugin that comes in.
Oh, there's a couple of cards here that I don't know what they do. Disruptor Flute. What does that one do?
That is a 2-mana flash artifact. It's like a Pithing Needle kind of effect. It's the named card costs 2 more, and its activated abilities cost 2 more, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, so you get to Pithing Needle, but you get to look at their hand first.
No, it's just Pithing Needle, and the card costs 3 more. Yeah.
The card costs 3 more.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. And then, we've got some a Seal of Cleansing, a Stony Silence that'll come in. You might notice here, though, no Null Rod.
Yeah, this is because this is an 8-point deck, and Null Rod is on the reserve list, and that does trip people up sometimes.
Yeah.
The other consideration Voltie has as well is, even if this wasn't an 8-point list, it is a budget $150 list. And Null Rod would take out a fair chunk of that budget.
So if you're interested in getting into Highlander and you've got a bit of a budget that you want to work to, Voltie has actually written a few articles on different budget decks, and this is the one that she's currently playing, which is pretty cool. So she's really putting her money where her mouth is.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of you know what, this is a competitive deck, and this is less than $150. And you can jump in, start playing 8 points in 7-point Highlander, and do really well.
All right, so we see the Disruptor Flute there that Voltie's kept. She's got a Wasteland as well, a Plains Cathar Commando, Seam Rip. We've got Chris starting us off with an Eldrazi Temple into an which is that? No, it's not. It that Heralds the End. There we go.
It that Heralds the End. Yeah.
It's not It That Betrays, it's a much bigger one. However, this It That Heralds the End does certainly make other Eldrazi bigger, as well as helping you ramp a little bit with your more expensive spells.
Yep. So colorless spells that you cast with mana value 7 or greater cost 1 less to cast. So your 7 drops become 6 drops.
We've got an Ancient Tomb here, casting a Thought Knot Seal, which is going to get hit by a Mana Tithe.
Whoa! Mana Tithe on your 4-drop that you've played on turn 2. What a steal.
That he paid 2 life for as well, which could be relevant even though Voltie is currently on the defensive plan, I guess. Not plan, but she's on the defense.
Yeah.
Taking care of that it heralds the end and wastelanding the Ancient Tomb to keep Chris off mana.
So one of the most powerful things about Chris's deck, 8-point Eldrazi, or any Eldrazi deck, or any of the artifact decks, is these lands that can produce more than 1 mana. And Ancient Tomb is one of those premier ones that you will actually pay points for.
Yeah, it's a good way of just getting generic mana, and of course when you're Eldrazi, you don't need the colors, and sometimes you need the colorless. So we've got an expedition map from Chris.
I believe that's actually a world map.
It's a world map. Oh.
Yeah, so very similar to an expedition map, but you've got to pay 3 instead of 2 to search for any land, but you've also got the option of paying 1 to sacrifice and look for any basic land.
I think that 1 is going to be very relevant here as he gets to sack end of turn and find a basic.
Yes. And we got Caracas coming down for Voltie as well.
It's one of my favorite 1-point cards. The card just gets better and better over time as they print more and more efficient costed legends.
Oh, Caracas, what a card. Like, it's interesting that sometimes you can actually have a Caracas in play and you go, you know what, this Caracas, I don't know if I'm paying a point for it. Like, it just didn't really appear to do anything. But what you don't realize is that your opponent has 3 legends in their hand that they're not playing. They're just, so you don't get to see it. Like,
yeah, you don't get to see the effects it has. And so Chris, in his 4th land drop, casts Khan's Silex. So as part of the Silexes, they tend to destroy lots of permanents in play of varying different things. So in this case, we're going to destroy permanents with converted mana cost X or less.
And very relevantly, players can't pay life to cast spells or to activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. So when you think about the most common land that we see in Highlander, I would actually say it's the group of fetch lands.
Yeah.
You can't pay life. You can't pay 1 life. So you can't...
Yeah, that's true.
That's the biggest thing with Khan's Silex, is you can no longer use fetch lands. Now, that's not going to actually affect Voltie too much.
No, she's got a Seal of Cleansing for it. She doesn't want to lose that Seam Rip and give back the heralds the end. Yep. And we've got a Basri. Do you know what Basri does?
Oh, no. You tell me. Tell me.
So Basri has 2 lines of text, aside from being a 2/1 Savannah line. The first is that it can exert to make cats. The second thing, which is incredibly relevant for this card, is that it can tap to make a cat indestructible. And Loris happens to be a cat.
Loris is a cat. Oh, okay. How do I even spell Basri?
Basri, I think. Basri?
Basri, okay. Let's bring this one up here.
Tomorrow's Champion.
There we go.
You can also just cycle this card.
Yeah, sweet. It's also just...
it's when you cycle it, yeah. Cats you control gain hexproof and indestructible. And then with Alaris, you of course get to bring it back.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's also just like a 1 mana 2/1, so... like,
yeah, it's incredible how Savannah Lions have come these days.
Yeah.
It's also like a legend, you can Caracas bounce it.
Ooh, here we have a spicy one.
Kozilek's Command, everyone's favorite. Being able to tap for 2 from the Eldrazi Temple, as it is a tribal Eldrazi spell. Looks like here it's going to exile the Cathar Commander, and let's see if he's making Scions here.
Yeah, so one of the benefits of making those signs is that it becomes like a ramp spell. So it's kill your guy, ramp up some O1s, or have a couple of chump blockers as well.
What a fantastically powerful card.
Yeah.
And Voltie here again with the Rishadan port. So it looks like she's going to try and keep up Matt and Denial a bit, as well as maybe develop a bit of a board with this Basri and try and get some cats on play.
Yep.
So we're seeing the Eldrazi Temple tap down because that's the thing which is going to produce the most mana. So we're kind of trading 2 mana for 2 mana here, which is usually not what Rishadan port's doing. It's usually trading 2 for 1. So Chris here has a Shadow Spear, Warping Whale, and Sire of 7 Deaths. And the Sire is actually not that far off because Chris has 6 mana, assuming the Eldrazi Temple doesn't get tempted down. So if Voltie is not careful in respecting this Eldrazi Temple, we could see a Sire come down, which would be very difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
Especially if it gets a Shadow Spear.
Yeah. First strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink, ward, pay 7 life. Now, Voltie is on 18, so the ward pay 7 life, not too bad.
Yeah. For the time being, if that thing gets one hit in, it becomes a very big cost suddenly.
Yeah, and I guess like if your plan is to tap it down with a tapper or something, then yeah, it's not going to really do the job.
Yeah, so Voltie here playing in a Ganjo as a land for turn, putting Luris into the hand.
There we go, there we go.
So she's still got a Disruptive Flute and a Samwise. So they're not necessarily at their best here. The Disruptive Flute may be trying to find a target. Unsure what she's trying to answer with it, and we see an end of turn Warping Whale to get an Eldrazi.
Oh.
So this puts Voltie to 7 mana, -2 when the Rishton Port taps the Temple, and Chris has drawn an Urza's Saga. So he's going to get to play this Saga, get it online, and develop the Shadow Spear if he so wishes, while also being able to eventually threaten dropping the Sire because of all these Eldrazi Scions.
Now, relevantly though, we've got a Seal of Cleansing in the graveyard. So the interaction between Lurrus and Seal of Cleansing means that Voltie can play that Lurrus, play the Seal of Cleansing from graveyard, and sacrifice that to kill the Urza Saga. So
she could definitely do that. The problem if she does that is she's committing her Rishton Port to it, meaning she won't be able to tap the Eldrazi Temple, which means Chris will actually be able to slam the Sire of Insanity, because he'll have the mana to do so. But let's see if Voltie is really valuing that Urza Saga. Like, because the Shadow Spear is already out, the constructs are some of the more scary things, but Voltie is also going to have to respect the Urza Saga in some way.
Yeah.
Because maybe she's going to play the Disruptor Flute here.
I mean, look, this is a hard spot. We've got the Shadow Spear on a 1/1 at the moment.
So she's choosing to pass and Rishton Port down the Urza's Saga to prevent effectively getting one of the constructs for it, because they're kind of winning on this board.
Yeah.
So when the trigger goes on the stack, you tap it down, they have no ability to make a construct in response. But Chris now does have the option to just slam the Sire of 7 Deaths here.
Yeah, because of the Eldrazi Temple tapping for 2. And then we've got the Entertainment card. I've recently heard about this
Abstergo
card.
Entertainment?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one, which can get a historic card back from the graveyard. But it does involve sacrificing a lot of things that are on board, though.
Chris here choosing to go for the Thief of Existence instead, exiling the Seam Rip to get back the It That Betrays. And if this happens, it means all the Eldrazi Scions are buffed, I believe.
Yeah. So Voltie's in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, it also means that the Sire of 7 Deaths in Chris's hand is going to be cheaper. That heralds the end is...
It that heralds the end. So making those things cheaper, but other colorless creatures you control get +1/+1. So all of those creatures currently out all get +1/+1, except for It that heralds the end itself.
Yeah, so Voltie's making a cat here, and I wonder if she's going to flash in this Disruptor Flute. So we're in the combat phase, and the Scion's attacking.
Yep.
It's traded a Scion with a Basri and a cat token.
Yeah, so not the best for Voltie here, but you got to do what you got to do. We do, I think that's a Council's Judgment in hand for Voltie, which gives her the ability to kill that Shadow Spear and stop the life gain from happening. But either way, like, we're getting later into the game here, and Voltie is in a position where she doesn't have necessarily like a hell of a lot of resources in hand, and Chris is on 16 life, so...
Yeah. This might be a tight game for Voltie to win, because she's still got to battle through this Sire of 7 Deaths. And one of the best things that she can do at the moment, I feel, is Luris back the Seal of Cleansing and maybe try and get through that. But you'd have to take out the Urza Saga, you have to take out the Shadow Spear, and then you still have to find a way to deal with the Sire of 7 Deaths. Luckily for Voltie, however, Council's Judgment is a good answer to Sire of 7 Deaths.
Oh, yeah, because it doesn't actually target.
No, you get to just choose it. So we don't have the Rishton Port available this turn, so Chris looks like he's going to be able to cast the Sire next turn. And Voltie choosing to take out the Urza Saga, because we don't want that making a construct or finding a one-cost artifact.
I got to ask, does Voltie know about the Sire?
No.
In hand? So just playing as if she does go.
I think you can safely assume a lot of the time that the Eldrazi player has a big spell in hand. I think there's a fair assumption you can make.
That is a fair assumption.
So Chris tapping 6 mana here, so -1 for it that heralds the end to cast the Sire. Also, like, this Thief of Existence is not really a joke either, to be honest.
Yeah, so base stats 3/4, but +1/+1 from the Anthem effect. So yeah, 4/5 creature just sitting there, just doing some good work.
Okay, so Voltie's drawn a strip mine here. So Voltie can strip mine one of the lands, Council's Judgment, the Sire, and Seal of Cleansing away the Shadow Spear. And then Voltie is in a much better position from here, because she's kind of got control on the board. This Lurrus is online and doesn't look like it's going anywhere currently. She's got the Basri in hand as an extra bit of safety, as well as the Caracas.
Yeah.
So she's just going to try and grind Chris out at this point.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Only having like a couple of cards in hand, but one of them being that Lurrus just means that we can see like infinite seal of cleansings coming out each turn. Currently, no, we've got one target in the Shadow Spear, so the Shadow Spear is no longer a problem. So we might just see Chris get drowned in value from this Lurrus.
Yeah, and the thing that's going to really hinder Chris here is the fact that he's been cut off on mana so much. Like, the Strip Mine as well, representing the ability to take out another land. Chris is effectively in top deck mode, and as an Eldrazi deck, you don't want to be in top deck mode when you don't have enough mana. Like, you just can't cast your spells, you have so many bad draws, and you got to really struggle to get back on board.
Yep. So that entertainment land, I'm going to bring that up here.
Abstergo Entertainment.
Yeah. It's interesting in that normally Chris would be in a good spot with this entertainment, because you could get back the Saga in Urza Saga and then be able to get more Eldrazi's and pretty much go to town. But that Seal of Cleansing loop means that the Urza Saga ain't what it used to be.
Yeah, and we can see that Voltie used the Seal of Cleansing to take out the Shadow Spear. Chris playing a Sol Ring here.
Yep.
And goes for the Abstergo. And the Abstergo also exiles the graveyard, so it actually does get to deal with the Seal of Cleansing.
Oh,
but
jeez, this card has so much text in it. Okay, so exile all the rest of the graveyards.
Yeah, Voltie's still got the backup plan of having the Strip Mine, and also gets to Caracas the Samwise.
Okay, so we're going to see like multiple Strip Mine uses, and that's why Voltie didn't use the Strip Mine on the card, on the entertainment card in the first place.
Yep.
Because she wanted to have a Strip Mine lock with the Samwise.
Yeah.
So very interesting play for Voltie there, knowing that she has that option available, and so opting to, I guess, sacrifice the Seal of Cleansing loop.
Yeah.
In order to be able to have this.
I think I'd rather have a Strip Mine loop than a Seal of Cleansing loop.
Look, at this point in the game, I agree.
Like, while Chris does have a Sol Ring, you can kind of attack the mana a bit more easily with Voltie's deck, because it does attack lands. The artifact mana is a bit harder to attack, until Sideboard at least, but she's also got Disruptor Flute and Razor Grass Ambush. So she's kind of insulated a bit. Even though that Razorgrass Ambush isn't going to be able to take out the Thief of Existence, it is looking like a strange race where Lurrus is involved.
Yeah.
So Rishon porting the Eldrazi Temple, leaving Chris with only 4 possible mana. So wouldn't even be able to cast a 7-drop with the Heralds the End.
Yep.
So Chris is kind of on the back foot here and suffering a bit of a lock. We see a Planar Nexus, which is actually going to turn on that Urza's power plant. So I imagine it is entirely possible that will be the next target of this Strip Mine, or 2 of them. Because the Caracas end of turn getting the Samwise back, and Samwise coming back into play.
And then picking up that Strip Mine.
Yeah, it's also buffing the ring here. Mechanic we don't often see in Highlander.
Oh, yeah. It actually is going up high enough. So one of the things that is a problem for Chris as well is he can't really profitably attack, because you can just block with Samwise and then bounce.
Yep.
Just not a problem.
Yeah, and he's going to get nowhere doing that. Basri's going to keep making cats, and if needed, Basri can jump back to the hand and give Lurrus Hexproof Indestructible. And then just be played from the graveyard again, bounce back with the Caracas.
What a series of plays by Voltie.
All right, we see the strip mining continue.
Yep.
We've moved the ring bearer over, so this cat is actually going to be unblockable because its power is lower than both creatures. And I believe we have the fourth mode of the ring, which means that I believe Chris's life total is going to be reduced to 1.
Well, hang on. I think it does an extra 3 damage.
Extra 3 damage, okay.
Extra 3 damage when it hits, I believe. But there's so much text on that they have to have an additional whole card. Yeah, a lot of things going on here. I think it's also a draw and discard, and can't be blocked by creatures that are greater than its power.
Yeah, you know the physical card itself is perforated, so you can tear the ring part off?
Oh, yeah, that's sweet.
So we're seeing a Richardson Port continue here, tapping down the forest, leaving Chris without any coloured sources outside of that cavern. So he's not going to be able to cast something like Ancient Stirrings, for example, to maybe get him out of this. But this strip mining is still continuing. The Thief is kind of priced into attacking, but we're likely seeing a Samwise bounce here.
Yep, Samwise bounce, but maybe there's a removal spell in response to stop the loop from occurring?
Or maybe, nope. It's just going in.
Still worth it. Still worth the... the attempt.
Dismembering Loris. So with the Caracas down, we've gone for a Dismember on the Loris.
Of course, because if you kill the Samwise, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Because you can just play it again from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the Samwise gets back the Loris.
Oh my. What? Welcome to Value Town.
Yeah, Samwise is a very cool card with Caracas and Loris.
Yeah.
Just fits into this deck so well.
And,
so the cat continuing to attack, also just filtering Voltie's drawers. She's got a tight grip on this game, I feel.
And navigated it incredibly well.
Yeah, she's definitely kept Chris off different pressure points at different things, so it's really stopped him from being able to develop an overwhelming advantage and such. So she's really navigated this game in a way that Chris has had a lot of difficulty getting off the field.
Yeah, and then we see activation of the Richardson Port again, and scoop him up.
And Chris packs it up. That's fair.
That's fair.
Like, the Loris didn't even need to be in play at that point. Like, the Strip Mine Caracas was going to be fine with it.
Yeah. That interaction with, okay, I can get your Loris off the field. Nope, Samwise coming down, putting the Loris back in my hand. Welcome to Value Town, population Voltie. Like, just an absolute showing here from this deck that's $150.
Yeah, and Loris showcasing why it's worth 3 points as a companion.
Yeah, totally.
Definitely when you got Caracas in the mix as well, it just becomes such a huge grind and an annoying threat to get rid of.
Yeah. Oh, this is awesome. Welcome back to the booth. That was
round two.
Round two, Voltie versus Chris.
Voltie versus Chris. Voltie, a very influential streamer in the Highlander community.
Yep.
Often building decks, running events, and good member of the community.
Yeah. And look, one of the things that she's passionate about is providing deck ideas for people that are really getting into Highlander to start with. So if you haven't played much Highlander before, then I would highly recommend checking out Voltie's stream, as well as her articles. Very good read and listen. So
yeah, she's very good at Magic. She's been playing a very long time. She's just very good in games in general and enjoys them, likes working out puzzles.
So we see. Today we had, so far, we've got 2 rounds. We've seen a Grixis versus Grixis in the first round.
Between 2 Highlander Giants.
2 Highlander Giants, yep. Lachlan Wardsmith picking up the deck for the first time this morning. And then we've seen 8-point versus 8-point, Eldrazi versus Mono White. So a fair bit of different decks, even though we had like a double up in the first round. What are you thinking is going to pull out in front in this event?
Look, I'm on Team Grixis for this event.
You're on Team Grixis, okay.
I'm on Team Fair decks. I like Fair decks in the format. I don't like unfair decks in the format. They always seem to give me a nightmare of a time. But I'm all for fair decks and fair Magic and interesting play patterns.
How do you feel about the opposite of both fair decks and the opposite of Voltie's deck in that $150 versus Storm that is playing Black Lotus?
I would like to see $150 deck trample Black Lotus deck any day of the week.
Yeah, definitely. I would really enjoy watching that. So.
Yeah, it's like I have a Deafening Silence or something, and then what's your Black Lotus worth now? Like, it's a piece of cardboard in your hand.
Yep. How many points is Black Lotus?
4?
4 points, I believe.
Yeah, not even the most pointed card in the format.
Yeah. Time Walk, Ancestral Recall, and Mana Crypt in that 5-point category. So.
Mana Crypt being a particularly interesting one, as it is a popular card among 8-point decks, because it's not on the reserve list.
Not on the reserve list, and played in all the commander decks. So if you've got a commander deck and you wanted to port over into 7-point Highlander, particularly if you wanted to, maybe even win all about Black Lotus and join those Storm players at the Black Lotus event coming up in November, that would be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that event. We get to cover it as well. Two days of high level Magic, of fighting for effectively the best kind of prize you can fight for.
Yeah, literally the best card in Magic the Gathering. So that's going to be awesome. And we've got the Invitational Qualifier tomorrow, which I'm also very excited about. We put a lot of effort into that. So we've got all these stores. I think we've got 24 stores right now signed up to run Invitational Qualifiers, which is the Invitational is a side event on the Friday of the Black Lotus event weekend, which has about, I think it's like $5,000 worth of prizes, $0 entry, $0 for a store to run the actual Invitational Qualifier. So a very generous event that Pat's put on, which I'm very excited to be a part of. And I'm very excited to play in that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it myself. I'm just gonna have a good time and fun. And remember, the only way to qualify for this Invitational is by winning or top 8ing or however many slots are available at one of these events.
Yep.
So the event itself should be pretty tough field, I reckon.
Have you worked out what you're playing tomorrow? You're going to be on the Grixis? Are you going to follow through?
I'm probably going to be on Grixis. I've got the option of playing Jund as well if I really want to, but maybe I'll flip a coin.
Flip a coin? All right. Well, hopefully we'll battle against each other tomorrow. Yeah, I'd really enjoy that, actually.
That would be a good match, I reckon. Maybe more for you than me, but...
Yeah, I'll be on some degenerate draw 7 deck that will take many game actions and slow the tournament down. That's.
I'll just be sitting there drawing on my scorepad.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, thanks very much for joining us for round 2 of Canbrawl. Shout out to Pat for putting on this event, and we'll see you next round with another exciting match. Yeah.
What kind of things would you like to see for round 3 if you could choose?
Ooh. I would like to see Storm sit down.
Storm sit down?
Yeah. So Juzzer is in the room. So Juzzer is a 7-point Highlander aficionado, and he's on Storm, and his deck is just so beautiful. Right,
it's very pretty.
Yeah, so look, I'd love to see that just so we can see some of those fancy cards get put down. But if I'm being specific, can I be a bit more specific and say I'd love to see Storm on camera get destroyed.
I think everyone would like to see that. One of the interesting things I've found about Storm is a viewing experience is when you watch it, you kind of get to experience what the opponent is feeling as you just sit there and watch your opponent take all these game actions, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's really like being in the opponent's seat. It's a very immersive experience sometimes.
One of my favorite things to do is when Storm starts going, is as soon as they hit 3 spells, I always just confirm, okay, so we're on 3 spells, so my Mindbreak Trap is active.
Yep.
And just watch them go, is he just joshing with me, or does he actually have that Mindbreak Trap?
The other one you can do is as you're shuffling your hand, thinking, and drop the Force of Will accidentally when you don't have another blue card. I've seen that one. That one's pretty funny. I've seen it play, which was Dark Ritual, drops the Force, go. It's couldn't beat the Force of Will. It's well, that's what you get for playing whoops.
That is a sneaky move. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it is very entertaining. So if we do get to see that, that'll be an interesting situation to both commentate and maybe, I don't know, do the judges get involved at that point? That's a bit of a... I
don't know if the judges would get involved. People watching the footage back might.
That's definitely one of those LSV picking up the pen kind of moves, definitely an interesting situation. And look, we can have a bunch of different situations like that come up in 7-point Highlander. It's one of my favorite, it's my favorite format because of the ability to play those kind of interactions.
Yeah, well, the card pool is just so large, right? And because of that, it allows for some really interesting and unique interactions which you wouldn't see in other Magic.
Yeah, and then each game itself typically plays there differently. because, wow, you've only got one copy of every deck, and so you're not going to see these 4-ofs, and the same thing's not going to happen between game and game, with the exception of the Boogeyman Storm, pretty much tries to do the same thing every single time.
I mean, we did see it in the last game where Chris got strip mined repeatedly. It's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. But in game 1, it was a combination of strip mine, wasteland, Richard Import.
That's true.
Whereas,
so mana denial.
Mana denial, yeah. And I suppose the Richard Import was in game 2 as well. So there was a little bit of same, but also a lot of different stuff going on as well.
Oh, yeah. Like, every game plays out very differently.
Yeah. One of the big differences between the 8-point Eldrazi list and the 7-point Eldrazi list is the card Mishra's Workshop. How do you feel about Mishra's Workshop?
It's a lot of mana, very quickly. Thank God Tezzeret Cruel Captain is not an artifact.
Yeah. I mean, the interaction between Mana Vault being like a 1-drop that adds 3 mana, play the Tezzeret, untap the Mana Vault straight away, got 3 mana the next turn, plus the Tezzeret activation, so 6 mana plus whatever on from your lands on turn 2. It's pretty...
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm generally opposed to fast mana. I don't like it. I like to play a grindy small game when everyone's trying to operate on a mana system.
Yeah.
So not a huge Workshop fan. I have played Workshop decks in the past, mostly in Vintage, but turn 1 Trinisphering people is still fun. I guess winning is fun more than anything else sometimes. So
yeah. Awesome. Well,
I think that'll do us for here.
Really enjoyed commentating with you, Dylan. So I'm excited to commentate more rounds with you today.
Oh yeah, we've still got plenty of coverage to do still. 5 more rounds of Swiss at least, then a top 8 cut. It's going to be a good day.
We'll see you soon, and thanks for watching.
Signing off.